These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
There's so much about you that I'm gonna miss, but it's alright, baby, if I hurry, I can still make shine.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 43 of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlin Wells, alongside host Nathan Folselbach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are ya?
We sang a little George Strait, so I'm wistful for the rodeo circuit, Marlin. I miss it.
You missing your rodeo days?
Tight Wranglers, the dinner plate-sized belt buckles, the bloused out, very flamboyant dress shirts. It's calling my name. It's getting nice out. The snow's gone. It's rodeo season, brother.
Yeah, the shoots are calling.
The shoots are calling. They handed me one of those helmets. I threw it back at him. Like, I am going to get my CTE like a grown-ass man.
Fuck your helmet. Fuck your vest. I don't need it.
Boy, I had a couple buddies that were cowboys growing up, and I remember being at their house drunk. That we were always drunk. I don't even know why I said that. We were
That's
19,
redundant.
and I discovered that if I wanted to wear a cowboy hat, my head is so big, I would have to go for like the giant black Bart bat. Like the normal cool cowboy hats look like children's party hats on my head. So
I just see you wearing Hoss Cartwright's hat.
That's
that tall fucking hat.
That was exactly what I was going to say. It was the big round top Hoss Cartwright hat.
Yes, I would support you in this.
Yeah. Oh man, I have
can't
a pair
pull
of
off
decent
like
cowboy boots too.
Cowboy boots, I maintain, are real fucking comfy.
Oh,
I don't own a pair right now, but I've certainly owned cowboy boots in my adult life. They're very comfortable.
Yeah, I wore some to my company's Christmas party one year as a lark, as a goof. Within 20 minutes, I was almost bedridden. I was in so much pain from those fucking cowboy boots. I think with boots, you have to wear them a while to get used to like that style of having a heel,
Yeah, you got your heel up in the air.
You can't go from wearing Vans or Airwalks for 20 years.
Well, let me just slide off these Chuck Taylors and put on these Justins and
These Tony Lamas.
And now I'm going to be bedridden for the next week and a half.
Looking back, especially at the 90s, it's funny that how flamboyant the designs were on Western dress shirts and racing jerseys, like BM or like dirt bike and snowmobile jackets. For a group of people that I think you could fairly homophobic, maybe not the right, maybe that's a little too strong, but pretty
certainly pride themselves on some masculinity for sure.
Yeah, they are putting Liberace to shame with the amount of turquoise and neon green, like
fucking chartreuse Arctic Cat jackets, man. Woof.
Yeah, Arctic Cat really went for it. Like all the other brands of at least a Polaris usually has a base color that's pretty tame, like a black or a white. But yeah, with you get an Arctic Cat jacket, it starts chartreuse with like turquoise and like topaz embellishments on the buttons.
I didn't know there were that many different shades of neon green, but I'll be damned. You look like a fucking walking fishing lure, man. What are you doing? Looking for the biggest of bass in this bar, apparently.
Yeah, paired with the tightest of jeans. Yeah.
Snowmobilers had a look for sure.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And that look was, they look like they just got done paintballing.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Paintball, also a lot of bright colors, but you're also getting covered in bright colors, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, those like cowboy rodeo dress shirts with snaps, not buttons. Fuck buttons. It was snaps. Yeah. And just loud. I wonder if they're still around. We should take a journey to fucking Boot Barn one of these days and see what the cowboy dress shirts are looking like.
I'm anti-Boot Barn. I'm a nostalgic man. I miss RCCs.
Oh, sure. But I mean, it's the same store, just a different name. But Yeah, I'm with you. I would rather it was RCC, but listen to us having opinions on
stores we didn't spend money in.
Yeah, on stores that we don't go to.
Oh man, we're the worst.
Yeah, no,
aren't we? We're little stinkers. That's what we are. Couple of little stinkers.
We can make the trip though. Go look at some cowboy boots and some again Montana silversmith buckles and see what their bolo tie selection is looking like these days.
A topaz bolo tie, that would really pull together a lot of my outfits.
I was never a fan of a jeweled bolo tie. All of mine were pretty basic silver.
Whew, we gotta back her up for a second. How many bolo ties are we talking, Marlin?
I certainly owned a few in my youth.
Oh man, yeah.
You gotta remember.
More prevalent.
I was going to RCC, man. That was where shopping was done. But long before Hot Topic Marlin, there was just Cowboy Marlin.
I could just see that you're 15 maybe and you're walking to RCC's, but then in the corner of your eye, the black light beckons from Spencer's and you walk in and there is a POD t-shirt, double XL, meant for comfort. You think about what your mom will say, you think about what society will say, and you say, fuck that noise. Southtown for life.
There was a brief fading in and fading out period where it was like still wearing cowboy boots, but also wearing like a silver clawed piece of finger armor and an amazing Jekyll Brothers t-shirt.
Or just you in a dress shirt with like a normal hair with a little cowlick, and then fast forward to you in a big droopy t-shirt, and there's one single braid in the cowlick. Yeah, I'm growing it out. It's hanging directly in front of your forehead.
I'm envisioning like the Planet Earth nature show time lapse of the Wranglers turning into the Jinkos. Like they just bloom. They just stovepipe out.
Yeah. Maybe there was like a transition to some like loose fit Arizona jeans or something like that. To test the waters.
That's a name I haven't heard a lot. I certainly owned Arizona jeans.
Arizona jeans had their own knockoff Jinkos too, but the name fucking because Lee jeans did too. There was Lee and Arizona both had knockoff Jinkos for a moment.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. I'm sure all of my Arizona jeans had hammer hooks on the sides or hammer loops.
God, that got to be a thing. Like comfort fit turned into baggy, turned into extreme baggy.
Like, what are you, a fucking carpenter? Like, what do you need this for?
God, yeah, I wore a lot of. I bought a lot of Key Imperial jeans from the Nodak in my hometown because they had big old hammer loops and many a pocket.
And it's like, what if we were to put a hammer in there, everyone would see your dick. You ain't got a belt on. Like, you would lose these jeans immediately.
Yeah. To be fashionable again. I miss it.
I miss the days where I, quote unquote, knew what I was doing in the fashion world.
You know who has a timeless sense of fashion?
Who's
Marlin?
that?
Homer Simpson.
Yeah, white polo and blue jeans. I assume they're jeans. They're blue pants.
Yeah. There's some bizarre kind of like Dickies dress work slack, but I think they're probably jeans.
I always assume jeans.
Well, why don't we see how he's doing, Marlin?
Let's do
see
it.
How the whole Simpson family's doing. We're episode 10 or season 10, episode 9, Mayor to the Mob. Starts with the family watching a little TV. We don't get this as much. This was a real popular starting point for like the golden era Simpsons. They'd be watching something on TV. We kind of get that with this one where they're watching a knockoff. We're getting Roger Corman's Titanic, and it's very Roger Corman-esque, very low budget, lots of TNA, Lots of shit that, like, all of a sudden the ship is a goddamn monster, which I appreciate. Had to look it up. Roger Corman, still alive. He's like 95 years old, but he's still out there. Was still working up till too long ago. So
has he directed anything I would have seen? I didn't recognize the name and didn't bother writing it down.
He's legit produced. I don't know if he directed it, but he's produced, I don't know, 700 movies.
Oh, so probably.
He's just been making schlock. He's always like, well, I think Roger Corman, wasn't he behind either the early 90s Captain America or the Fantastic Four that's went down in history as like
as real bad shit?
Yeah, unwatchable. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his thing, was just super low budget. Kind of like the guy that does Trauma, but not less tongue in cheek, if that makes sense. Like, yeah,
I gotcha.
Like I mean, Roger Corman wasn't making his movies like, ha ha, look how shitty this is. He was just trying to do the best he could with the budget he had. Like, But yeah, I don't. James Cameron got his start with Roger Corman. He I can't remember if he was just like the head of photography for a couple of his early 80s. Just tons of knockoffs too. Like, oh, Alien was a hit in 79. We got to do 3 real gory alien movies.
Alien type movies, yeah.
Yeah. I know the guy that played Captain Spaulding in the Rob Zombie horror movies. Like
what's his name? Yeah,
kind of unique looking dude. I know he was in some of Corman's like 70s and 80s stuff too. Like, he kind of had a revolving cast of actors that would pop up in his shit. So yeah, like that's a good question. I wonder if he has anything that's like good, like that's like stands up to the test of time and shit. That'd be interesting to, because yeah, I mean he's fucking done so much, but yeah, I don't think much of it was very good.
Sid Haig.
There you go. Yep.
That was gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah. So that's how the episode starts, and they end up going to a science fiction convention. They see an advertisement while watching the Roger Corman's Titanic, and they end up
bi-monthly. The Springfield has a bi-monthly sci-fi convention
with Mark Hamill, which is a pretty big get for a bi-monthly sci-fi convention.
Is it in 1998 though? God, I'll bet that even in the darkest of times, Mark Hamill was still a big get for any sci-fi convention.
I think so.
This is probably at some of his cheapest.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But, we're getting up to the prequels. The prequel would have came out later that winter. So maybe at that point, Star Wars fever might have been really peak. I wonder when his low point was. I would say late 80s. I would say late 80s, because there was a Star Wars resurgence in the mid 90s when they re-released them on VHS when they updated everything. But I would say when I was 10, let's say, Star Wars was not really a thing. Like 89, 90, like it was kind of yesterday's news at that point. Like,
I was introduced to those movies on VHS at a friend's house, just and being fucking mind blown.
I was a super little kid. I liked the toys. I'm old enough I got in on like Jedi toys.
Oh,
I think the movies I got into, like, they used to show them on USA Network, which it shows where Star Wars was in 1988 or 89. Like, catching the USA, hey, we want to show all the Star Wars movies this afternoon. Is that cool?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
I wrote something dumb here. I said, hey, Marlin, have you ever been to a sci-fi convention? Yeah, man, I have performed comedy with you at one, if not two.
Yeah. A few times. I bet it's more than 2.
I know. It was weird. I remember, like, schedule-wise, a couple times I couldn't do it. Like, I do remember the first one I did with you was the first one I spent time at and had fun at and had a blast. I just remember all of what do they call the party rooms? Or is that just what they're called? Party rooms?
Like the ballrooms.
Yeah.
Or do you mean the drinking rooms?
The drinking rooms, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they probably have some manner
there
of name
is a name
for
them, like a suite. I think they're called like con suites or something like that. I just remember like, holy fuck, these people are having fun. This is a great atmosphere. It's real positive. But I just remember all of those rooms surrounded the pool area, and it was hot, and there was so much humidity coming from the pool area. And I'm telling you right now, not a good crowd to be around when it's humid. A lot of poor hygiene. A lot of poor hygiene, man.
And fuck being around a pool, period, unless you're partaking in the
I'm splashing.
pool, which
I
I never am.
Yeah.
Like, a pool area in a hotel, or I imagine any pool area, is fucking miserable. Everything just stinks like chlorine. There's a fog in the air because it's so humid, and it's the loudest room you've ever been in.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, they nailed it all. Like, eyes stinging, you're fucking dehydrated from all the sweating. Like, hey, you know what we should pile on top of this? Alcohol. That sounds like a great fucking combination for fun.
We should make this the one place where you can get alcohol. It's like, no, there's a hotel bar. I'll walk way down the hall. I'm not so much a part of this community that I have to buy the fucking blue booze out of this person's fucking icy machine in this hotel room.
Well, I was partaking in all the silly shit. I mean, when in Rome was my... But also, you'd probably been to one before. It was just all new to me.
Yeah, I usually end up stopping in for one with a couple of nerd buddies, and then it's like, listen, man, the rest of the night, I'm walking to the bar and getting a drink like a normal person.
Yeah. I do like we get to see the curly-haired nerd with glasses who doesn't come up a lot. He makes a quick appearance. He waves to Lisa. We get Gunter. Gunter's also one of the nerds, apparently.
Who, by the way, is wearing a Futurama t-shirt.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that, yeah.
Yeah, Uter's wearing a Futurama shirt, which I thought was pretty cool.
One thing that I noticed, I don't remember what character said it, but someone is purchasing a stack of water-damaged Lil Lulus, which that cracked me up. That's a very specific reference to a forgotten character.
Yeah, incredibly specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's comic book guy when he's with that lady.
That's what it is. Oh,
shopping
man.
for comics there, and they have that moment.
Every time I see comic book guy on screen, I wonder to myself, why the fuck did I rock a ponytail as long as I did? That's a tough look, man. Tough look to pull off. May have been ruined by the comic book guy.
Yeah, he fucked that up for you, not the other way around. You rock it, Nathan.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, that's... Sometimes you need to look in the mirror that is The Simpsons.
I worked with a guy in radio at my last job who was in his late 60s rocking a fucking ponytail, and it's just like, hell yeah, that's a dude who's been in radio since the 50s.
Yeah. Just that thin, wispy 60-something-year-old man ponytail.
Yeah, super thin on top.
Yeah.
Still enough to tie it up, bro. Fuck it.
So Mayor Quimby comes to speak at the Sci-Fi convention, and you know how it is in Springfield, a fucking riot breaks out.
They mob up quick.
Homer ends up protecting the mayor, and the mayor likes what he sees, and Homer becomes his bodyguard. And I didn't have a whole lot of laughs this episode, but I did like Homer learning that like sleeper hold pinch thing that he uses on the kids, and then on Marge, and then on himself, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was a fun scene where it's
like a half hour to kill. Yeah,
like Vulcan nerve pinches the kids and Marge to shut him up, and then decides he's gonna take a nap, does it to himself, and bounces his head off the kitchen table on the way down.
One thing I enjoy, well, how it works, so kind of the episode goes is Homer's now kind of Quimby's right-hand man, and you get to see Quimby, you know, he's he's a pretty unscrupulous politician, which comes as no surprise, but even for Mayor Quimby's levels, the fact that they're running a goddamn rat milking operation to fucking provide milk for the school system, even for Mayor Quimby, that's pretty fucking shady.
Well, he didn't know.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, he also didn't shut it down as soon as he found out. So I got a good kick out of rat milking operation.
So because of Homer, the police find out about the rat milking. So Fat Tony has pretty much made it known that Homer and Mayor Quimby are on his kill list. There's many attempts at taking their life. I like the goons. I like Fat Tony's goons. Like whenever they make
the curly-haired skinny one with the knife. Like he's got such a good villain look to him. and Homer survives a very perilous knife fight. I think that guy's Louie. He survives Louis' attack. He feels like, okay, all's well that ends well. And then he sees Fat Tony just savagely beating Mayor Quimby with a baseball bat. Survives the knife fight with Louis, but Tony really got some bat work done there.
I thought that was a nice touch. But so, yeah, Homer realizes maybe this ain't the life for him, and kind of one of those the ends where it's like, well, that's that.
Well, he's at that dinner theater where Mark Hamill was performing. Mark Hamill just stays in this episode the whole time.
That's how he comes back in. Yep.
Yeah, and then Homer scoops him up to take him to his car, and he's like, oh shit, I forgot my lightsaber. So he carries him back through the crowd. He's kicking people out of the way the whole time. All this time, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You is blaring. And he's like, just he's carrying fucking Hamill like wife over the front door step style, and then just front kicking the shit out of these people who are mobbing Mark Hamill. I got a good laugh at that, all while Whitney Houston blares, and I have written down here that Whitney Houston song fucking rips. That song is so fucking good.
Yeah, she's so good. I'm not a great musical mind, but her range is so bonkers. Like,
yeah, and the back half of that song in particular is a fucking banger. Just like, oh shit. I got a lot of laughs out of the Sci-Fi convention because they pack a lot of jokes into the first 5 minutes of this episode during the Sci-Fi convention. Like Neil Armstrong is there, but nobody wants his autograph. Yeah. They're all at like
He's
Dr. Who's table.
Been in space. He's been on the moon,
and nobody cares. Yeah. I thought it was during the advertisement, like the attractions that they boast in the TV ad at the very beginning are Mark Hamill and Elf will be there, and a wrestling match between the Battlestar Galactica robot and, quote, the gay robot from Star Wars. Like, just this weird swerve gay joke at 3PO. Yeah. It's like, whoa, okay, well, I don't know where that came from.
And it's gay robots. Why is R2 gay? I think it's pretty tough to tell what R2's orientation is.
And I really love I love that Mark Hamill, when he comes out and the crowd's cheering him on, he's just there to shill for Sprint. Like he's clearly sponsored by Sprint somehow.
One thing that was very 90s in that part is if you look at the graph, MCI was on the graph. If you were to take a 3-hour block of television programming from 1995, I bet 40% of the commercials were for MCI.
So I don't even know what that is.
They were a long distance or a phone company back in the day. Like MCI was fucking everywhere. What happened? and I don't even think it was cell phones. I think they were gone by early 2000, which I mean, cell phones are becoming a thing, but people still had landlines in 2001. But I don't know what happened to MCI. Or remember, again, you might be just young enough. It wasn't a thing. Like when I was first out of high school, there were so many advertisements for long distance collect call options. Like it'd be like 1-800-2020, like that kind of shit.
When I was big into, I mean, I still am, but when I first got big into wrestling in 97, 99, around in there, every ad break had at least 3 1-800 collect ads in it. Because that was a huge fucking thing. Yeah,
and it's that audience. Hey, do you need money? Can't afford to call home? Here you go. Make mom pay for it.
The next time you're watching television that has ads in it, whether it's live on the air or streaming or rabbit ears, whatever you're doing, pay attention to the ads because that's who they think is watching the show. If you want to know what audience you're in. I was watching baseball yesterday. Motherfucking baseball's back. What up? And it was nothing but erectile dysfunction ads and RV sales. It's like, because they think the only people watching a fucking Yankees game in the middle of a Friday afternoon,
retirees,
are dudes who maybe they want to go on an RV trip. They're clearly retired, and probably their ding dong don't work.
Maybe I'm gonna get some stuffing in while they're out enjoying the Grand Coulee Dam or whatever they take their RV to.
They wanna buy an overblown van and they want to make it rock. Like that's who they think are watching. I watch wrestling every week. I see a lot of fucking Frank Thomas testosterone pill advertisements. It's
Frank
always
Thomas
like that.
Had a very interesting career, like, because he played in the heart of the steroid. You know, everyone was tainted from that era except Frank Thomas. I think it's just because, like, well, for one thing, never was connected even tangentially. Like, he was always far away from it. Plus, he is just a giant man. Like, it's almost crazy to me that he wasn't just forced by adults into playing football instead. Like,
I think you look at him now, which again I do every week a lot. He's always on my television. He looks like he has the look of the person who used to do steroids. Like, those older men just have that look.
And
now.
I just think he's one of those like genetic anomalies that's just a fucking monster. Like, he's the kind of guy, if he wasn't in sports, his old co-workers would tell stories about him. Like, I used to work with this guy that could rip a can of Mountain Dew in half. Like, just crazy. Fingers the size of wrists. Like, he's the Paul Bunyan, you know, like.
Yeah. He's got just a classic, like, strongman build.
Yeah. And it kind of bums me out. Like, there's guys that like aren't even really connected to the steroid era, but they're not going to get to the Hall of Fame because they can't prove they didn't take steroids. Like, well, fuck, you know, like, God damn it. I feel bad. Like, I don't know if Jeff Bagwell ever got in, but it's like, fucking, hey, Jeff Bagwell was a monster for fucking a decade. Got hurt, you know, but he still had a decade where he just ripped the goddamn cover off the ball. And because everyone was putting up fucking video game numbers and say, oh, who gives a shit, you know? Like, and he played for the Astros when they were absolutely irrelevant.
Yeah, I say let him in. Fuck it. I'm unbothered by steroids in baseball. Like the people in a huff about steroids in baseball are just stuffy old men. Like, fucking get with the times. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I don't know. I can see the argument both ways. Kind of like I would hate for someone to have to, like, feel like they had to do steroids to make it. You know what I mean? Like, if everyone else is, like.
Yeah, I get that. But
yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of the few things where I can say I've heard arguments both ways that I totally, you know what, that makes sense. You know, like, that was Baseball Corner. That's Talking Baseball with Marlin and Nathan.
Oh, let me get the outro music pulled up.
Yeah.
No, I'm not convinced we're done yet, because I watched the Yankees yesterday piss a fucking game down their leg. Had me so angry. I watched the whole game against the Blue Jays, and they did their damnedest to lose it in the end, and congrats, you got there, guys. God damn it, I was mad. Watch a whole game to watch you fucking let it all go in the bottom of the 10th.
Twins did the same thing. Barfed up a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 9th.
Good work, everybody.
Yeah. Boo. That's what I say.
Now we're done with baseball talk, I think. I just had to get that.
We had to get sour about it.
To get that out of my fucking system. The first day, day one of the season. Come on. Nice to see some fans back, though. I hope no one gets COVID.
Very true.
Episode 10 of Season 10 of The Simpsons is Viva Ned Flanders. We start out, we're tearing down Burns' casino, and there's a little throwaway joke where they're like, man, can you imagine that we were obsessed with this thing for like a week, and then next week we just totally forgot about it. Just like a comment on how episodic television works.
Yep. Like Lisa's like, why did we move this when we moved the town? Because they just moved the town.
She brings that up. Yeah, I'm surprised they moved it when we moved the town. Yep. They blow up the casino, and the Simpson family is at a car wash, and Flanders is also at the car wash and gets a senior discount at the car wash, a senior citizen's discount, which, by the way, was 50%. Took the price down from 10 to 5, which is the biggest senior discount I've ever heard of.
Say, yeah. You a car wash guy, Marlin? You take your hot whip through?
Hell yeah, I take it to the car wash, and I enjoy the car wash. I still have that weird youthful thing where you ride through the car wash and the brushes and the colors. You're like, yay! Like I still have enough of that in me.
I still kind of get that way with elevators because I never rode on elevators as a kid because, as we've discussed, there's no buildings big enough to need one.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I say, hey, look at this. Or escalators to this day. Hey, look at me. Magic steps.
Elevators have become passe because I have one in my apartment building.
Oh, yeah.
Escalators still will tickle my joy button, and you get me on a moving sidewalk in an airport, I'll lose my fucking mind. Yeah. I'll make a scene, make everyone uncomfortable.
Do the running man go against the grain? There you go.
You guys believe this?
Yeah, look at us, huh? Space age. Have a good one. Enjoy your flight.
Good game, everybody. No one knows what I'm talking about.
Talking about car washes, I'm finally getting over the guilt I used to feel, because growing up, my dad looked at car washes with a level of disdain, because they don't do as good of a job as doing it by hand. And in our house, washing a car is a 4-hour trial of terror, like where you're not doing anything right. It's like, yeah, like that's basically what I want for birthday or Christmas every year. Just wash my car, because it's like getting your car professionally touched up for free. You know, like it's remarkable how clean my dad gets a car.
Growing up on the farm, so like you guys, I assume a car wash for you guys was like garden hose, suds bucket, big sponge, maybe some towels, like the classic driveway car wash.
But yeah, well, we had a shop, so yeah, they got indoor, and then also my old man had like an old 1950s wash tub that had a wringer, so we had chamois. So yeah, we would if one drop of water was still left on that car, it would keep my dad up at night if it created a water spot. So very vigilant. And we lived on gravel, so I'm telling you, you're fighting a losing battle trying to keep your cars pristine.
Yeah, it's not going to get back to where you usually park it without being filthy. We grew up, we did car washes. Looking back, it was extremely efficient and effective, and probably not the way to do it. We pressure washed all of our vehicles.
Oh, so, interesting.
Like, they were clean as fuck, but we did not care about their paint jobs, apparently. Like, you never stripped any of it off, but it certainly couldn't have been good for it.
I'm just picturing
they were fucking clean when you were done.
Just all the dirt getting blown back to us. It's like the car's in a crater.
Oh, it was a messy experience, but that's how we did it.
That's how we operate.
Yep. You park the car in the middle of the yard and drag the hose and the extension cord out there and just pressure wash the shit out of those cars. And then it's like, I wonder why all the weather stripping is gone out of all of them, and they're faded as hell.
Huh.
They sat in the sun all their lives and you pressure washed them. There at the car wash, Flanders gets his senior discount, and Homer sees this as an opportunity to like call Ned out because Ned's such a goody fucking two-shoes. So in church the next day, Homer gets up and is like, yeah, you all think that Ned Flanders is so great. Well, I saw him yesterday fleecing the car wash by claiming to get a senior's discount. And there's a murmur and a hubbub over the crowd. And he's like, how old are you, Ned? And Ned is 60 years old, it turns out. I laughed real hard at that because A, that's ridiculous, but B, by the end of this episode, it's never brought up that that's a lie, so like we have to assume that that's canon going forward.
He was like either Rod or Todd was born when Ned was in his 50s.
Now I want to know how old Maude is, because now everything's up for grabs.
Yeah, Maude is 60 years old. She is a real hot ticket.
Ned is closer to Abe's age than Homer's.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he explains to the congregation that, like, yeah, my secret is just clean living. And then he starts to realize that maybe he lives a little too clean, and has he wasted his life? We get kind of a Ned Flanders existential crisis.
Yeah, we get sad Nettie.
Yeah, and Maude is just like, well, some people live different ways. Some people like crunchy peanut butter. Some people like creamy peanut butter. And then Ned's like, yeah, and then there's me, who just likes dry white toast and maybe a glass of water for dipping.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the most unfun human being, apparently.
So great, yeah. For dipping. And how the family all chime in with them was so great.
Yeah, because he's that predictable. He's that little bit of fun.
Yeah. For dipping.
So he's wrestling with this, and did I waste my life of never having any fun? And he employs Homer to be his fun coach. And I love the visual of Homer spit roasting that turkey over the chimney while Bart pours gasoline in the fireplace.
Yep.
God damn it. That was like, every once in a while you get like a perfect visual representation of dumb Homer. Yep. And that was it for me.
Fun dumb Homer. Yeah, I do enjoy fun dumb Homer.
Yeah. So Homer takes him to Las Vegas. He's going to teach Ned how to have some fun. We get always good to see our boy Lance Murdoch is there, the daredevil motorcyclist.
Yep.
And Homer volunteers to be part of the stunt. He lays on the X like he's supposed to, and Lance Murdoch is speeding down the ramp while trying to get a safe cracked that's on his head. And as he goes over the jump, Homer sits up to tell Ned not to spill his beer, and Lance, corrects at the last minute and wrecks his bike and is maybe dead. The last we see Lance Murdoch, he's getting the defibrillator tabs put on his chest, and that's it. We don't touch on whether or not he's okay.
Yeah, that whole the whole goal with has the safe on his head while jumping with that made me laugh. Because I always bitch that we're not getting the laughs, but by God, well done, Simpsons writers. That was a great gag.
Yeah, I love that. That's the act. I'm going to ramp this motorcycle through like a flaming ring and a bunch of other shit over an audience member while trying to crack a safe that is on my head.
He's cleared the ring of fire. He's cleared the ring of ice.
Ned loses all his money at the roulette table, which it goes fast at the roulette table. It really does.
Oh, does it? Yep.
Do you have do you like roulette? Do you play roulette?
We have the pig wheel here, so that's kind of...
Which is, it's the same fucking thing. It's just roulette.
If given a choice, I'm always going to choose poker 99% of the time, but I would take blackjack also ahead of roulette. Roulette is light years ahead of slots. Slots are the bottom of the barrel for me. I don't get much enjoyment out of slots at all. I just find it boring, but I'll play roulette. Yeah, I get long way to fucking answer that question, but I will play roulette.
Really took the scenic route to get there. Thank you.
Right away, I was thinking the answer is no, but in my head, I was thinking of craps, because I've still never... A lot of gambling has a high level of entry when it comes to not looking like a jackass. I don't want to be the person that's new at the table, doesn't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I've never figured out how craps works.
No, me neither. Not a clue. And to be fair, I've never tried to learn, but it's from purely an outside observer's standpoint, it's baffling. I don't have a clue what's happening.
When I was right out of high school, me and some buddies rented a house, and we would, right when this season was playing was when I was living in this house, 98, 99, and my buddy built a little gray wooden box with no top on it. It was missing one wall and the top. So it was meant for throwing craps. And he spray painted it gray. We didn't even know what we were doing. We just used it to gamble with dice. We had the rules all fucked up. So we would often wake up with near paralyzing levels of hangover and gray knuckles from throwing craps all night. Like, you gotta take a look in the mirror. Like, holy shit, man. Is your future headin'? Like, you've got Gojo out. You're scrubbing your knuckles because they're fucking covered in spray paint. So you're playing shitty dice games all fucking night. Vomit everywhere. I remember that house. It was my buddy's dad's, and he was we ain't gonna piss in the floor drain. You got to go upstairs to use the bathroom. It took him 4 hours before he got drunk enough to. He's like, I got to piss in the floor drain. Then we all did. Then it was God damn it! Somebody pour some bleach down the floor drain.
God, you animals.
Oh yeah. You learned to get a wide straddle because you didn't want to step in everyone else's piddle splatter.
Oh, it's the worst garage casino I've ever heard of.
It was something. Holy, yeah, we played a lot of improper poker. We didn't quite know the rules yet. So I just remember 3 of a kind beat straights and flushes. So Jesus Christ, a 3 of a kind was a hell of a hand. For those that aren't in the know, straights and flushes are both a better hand than 3 of a kind. So.
Right. Yep. After Ned loses all his money, we see him and Homer ordering some drinks, and Ned has to hype himself up to order a white wine spritzer, which I thought was very funny.
And Hulk up to.
He just had to really get up the gumption to order a white wine spritzer. But then it hit me, my brain just put on the fucking brakes right then, because we've established Ned gets imported tap beers for his rumpus room. Like, Ned drinks beer.
He's like a beer aficionado. Yeah.
But he's gotta amp himself up for a fucking spritzer.
Oh, I do have a question for you, because we do get a glimpse of some Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas artwork when they're driving to Vegas. You a Fear and Loathing guy? You a Hunter S. Thompson guy, Marlin?
I've never read any of Hunter's stuff. All I know of Hunter S. Thompson is that movie, Fear and Loathing. I don't know anything else about the guy.
I've never read his books. I've read plenty of his articles because they used to put him in Playboy all the time. And interesting cat. And whenever I think of Fear and Loathing, I think of it's one of the examples of a movie that upon second viewing, I had an almost 180-degree change of heart. Because the first time I saw it, my radar is set to dismiss anything hippie and or drug related. I never liked the Doors because of that. I never gave them a try. I never gave Grateful Dead a try. I never gave Fish a try. And just any kind of hippie dippy movie. But then I watched, it's like, okay, I can get behind this. This is fun. These guys are having fun making this movie. They're acting, getting to act like complete fucking maniacs.
I like that movie, but that's about it.
Oh yeah.
I think people think
that's
than
one of the
is.
reasons why I'm just predisposed not to like it. Man, have you seen this shit? It's fun, I guess. Okay. Another movie, this is a totally different type of movie. Another movie that upon second viewing I learned to really enjoy. Freddy Got Fingered. I fucking love Freddy Got. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is so fucking dumb. I'm just done. I'm tapping out.
Often with those movies, the dumb comedies, I usually have to go 2 or 3 times before I enjoy it, because my first time is going to be like, this is real dumb.
Yep. And then, it grew on me, man. Fuck, there's parts of that movie that make me laugh now. And the fact that Rip Torn played it as fucking straight as he did, that whole movie, bravo, dude.
Rip Torn is fantastic.
Yeah. No shit, yeah. But on the subject of Vegas, brother, I cannot wait to fuck up a casino buffet. Holy shit, I got that penciled in for when we get back to be able to do things like that. Just eating way too much of a barely room temp food and regretting it. Why, dude? Why?
I have not found myself missing buffets.
Oh, man. Yeah, I do.
Outside of the occasional Chinese buffet, I don't think I was partaking in many buffets.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'll fuck up a casino buffet. I like a good salad bar, too. I miss salad bars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll put some work in on like a Ruby Tuesday salad bar.
Yeah, like, look at this. They got beets. I like when shit like that. Like, you're like, hey, I didn't expect that. Look at him. What's this? Soup? Oh, shit, there's soup.
I'm gonna ruin everybody else's good time at this Ruby Tuesday because I'm just taking this whole bin of broccoli salad to my table.
Yeah. Oh, Christ, they got the good cottage cheese. Look at this. I'm scraping the salad onto the floor so I got more cottage cheese room.
You're like a kid, just cottage cheese and chocolate mousse.
Yeah, the chocolate mousse. I forgot about that. Yeah. Or if it has good coleslaw. Oh, and good coleslaw for me is like super Midwest, super creamy coleslaw.
Mm-hmm. I'll eat any coleslaw. You can give me bad coleslaw and I'll have a good time.
Yeah, there is a chain of restaurants in Montana called Lucky Lil's that will really test your bold cottage or coleslaw stance. It is like a ice cream scoop of dry iceberg lettuce with a dollop of like coleslaw juice on top of it. It's the presentation is so fucking insulting. Right away I thought that, are you fucking with me? What did I do to you? I'm not even from here.
Why are you bullying me?
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta stir it myself? Fuck, it's 2 p.m. It's got plenty of you're not in a rush. And then I went to other ones, and that's just how they do it there.
Well, I'll have to give it a shot. It's because now it's a challenge. Like, can anyone make a coleslaw so bad that I won't enjoy it? Like, I'm pretty sure you could just put a head of cabbage next to a bottle of coleslaw dressing, and I'll be like, perfect. Yeah. Let's get some more of this.
Treat it like a fondue.
Yeah, I'm just taking bites out of the cabbage head.
Yeah. Got a coleslaw sauce waterfall in your living room.
That's my spicy hot take of the week. Fuck lettuce, but cabbage is fantastic.
Yeah. I will be the diplomatic one of us. I like them both. I'll enjoy both of them.
You can keep your wet ass fucking brown ass lettuce. I'm not into it.
Oh, man. Talking about brown ass lettuce. Talking about my hair after a shower. Got that fucking lettuce dripping. Can't put this hair up. It's too pretty.
No, I see you putting it up like in that beehive towel that every television housewife knows how to put up.
Yeah, I have tried to do that before. It is a skill. They make it seem way too easy.
You're in the bathroom for 45 minutes.
Just sweating, have to take another shower. Fuck. I get lightheaded when I lean over to try to hang my hair down. Like, just want to do the wrap and the flip.
A little beehive swirl cone here on my head.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I used to have long hair, but it never got that long. Not long enough to do the swirl cone.
Just got my first haircut in about 2 years earlier this week.
Oh,
I got about,
shit.
I don't know, 10 inches cut off. It's still stupid long, but I got rid of got the rough cut out of there. We got the nice underbrush coming in now, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta trim up. You can't just be dead ending it over there, man.
Because that's exactly what it was. Every bit of it was a dead end.
Yeah, just a foot straight of split ends at the end of every strand.
You should it looked like a pile of straw on the ground when they got done cutting it. Like that there ain't no healthy hair down there.
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you got trimmed up.
Taking care of biz. Yeah.
So after his one white wine spritzer, we cut to Homer and Ned in the suite. They're sleeping in the jacuzzi, which seems dangerous, and recovering from a bender, doing the woof. I have not been in their position in quite a while at this point.
Oh,
but the
terrible hangover.
The brutal hangover. What did I do last night? It's been a long time since I went through one of those, but
thankfully, me too.
They are horrified to I'm not waxing nostalgic for those days, by the way. I'm not like the days. No, it's been a while, and that's good. They're horrified to realize that during their drunken blackout they both got married to these two cocktail waitresses. We get to see the video of their double wedding where they're just hammered standing in front of the I want to say priest, but that's not it, the official at this wedding chapel wedding, and they're both getting married to these cocktail waitresses. They're trying to figure out how to get out of it while they're at the buffet, like
breakfast, the omelet bar.
Yep, the custom omelet bar. I've only been to one buffet that had a custom omelet bar, and I was too intimidated to do it. I was like, I don't want to...
I don't want to bother that guy.
Exactly, that's just what I was about to say. But it's like, that's his job. Like, he's bothered when he's not working. Or is he? Maybe he likes the fact that no one's coming up to this omelet bar right now because it means that he doesn't have to work. I like being at work without having to work. So I don't want to be the guy who makes him fucking make an omelet.
And if enough people have our attitude, they just close down the omelet bar
and like, fire that man.
Yeah, no one's using it.
But I've been to a couple buffets where it's like, oh, God, look at it. That looks fantastic. I am not going over there. Not at all.
Yeah, usually when I'm at a breakfast buffet, I'm viciously hungover, so I'm just like burying my sadness in hash browns. I just need potatoes to push the poison down. Spoiler alert, it doesn't push it down for long. It's like kindling.
What has to go in an omelet if you're making a perfect omelet?
God, you know what? I'm kind of a basic bitch when it comes to an omelet. I am just a fan of a ham and cheese omelet, maybe some crumpled up bacon on top with a little sour cream and some salsa.
Oh, okay. Going sour cream on an omelet. Huh.
Yep. I was at some place in town here offers it, and I tried. I'm like, I can get behind this. You know what else on that subject of sour cream? I like a taco omelet. Which that's just taco meat and a taco cheese blend mix with sour cream and salsa.
That sounds good.
How about you? You gonna make it a little more veggie?
I've never done the sour cream. I have whipped sour cream in with the eggs to make them fluffier. But I've never done like a side of sour cream. I mean, you can use milk for that too, but
yeah, I use cream.
For me, it's sausage and too many mushrooms. I want too many mushrooms in my omelet. Like if I'm ordering it, it's like when you think you've put twice as many mushrooms as you should in there, do one more big double handful, and that'll be enough mushrooms. I like a lot of mushrooms in my omelet, and maybe a pepper jack cheese.
Oh, that's tasty.
And then just some hot sauce afterwards. I'll do I'll mess up an omelet with some salsa if it's maybe like a kind of a steak and onion kind of omelet. I'll throw a big dollop of salsa on there. But I also pretty basic sausage, mushroom, and cheese. That's all I need. And
I'm kind of that way. Like if they put mushrooms in there, I'd be fine with it. I'm just not going to go out of my way for it. And I wouldn't want excessive mushrooms. I don't want it to be like. It needs to be a bit roll. It needs to be the Harry Dean Stanton of the omelet. It can't be the star.
Yeah.
It's the John Turturro of the omelet.
I am not that way. I could stand in my kitchen and saute 5 pounds of mushrooms and then eat it out of a bowl in front of the television.
Shit. Mushrooms are the one food that I remind myself that, hey, keep trying shit you don't like because occasionally your palate changes. 20-year-old Nathan could not eat a slice of pizza if it had multiple mushrooms on it. Now, go fuck up a mushroom. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, and like you're not alone. Mushrooms are a divisive food. You know, it's not like you're saying you don't like chicken or something that literally everyone likes.
Salt, gross.
Butter, no. So they're at the breakfast buffet, and they decide that their grand scheme to get out of this is just make a break for it. They just run. And we get the delightful dulcet sounds of Elvis Aaron Presley singing Viva Las Vegas, which is such a hokey, corny song that I love a lot.
And I kind of... Sometimes shit like this, it's just too kitschy for me to enjoy, but I do like Vegas, 60s Vegas culture. Like, I do enjoy that too. Yeah, there's something about it.
It's its own thing, like, for sure. And, like, I think that if you take, like, a Vegas aesthetic out of Vegas and put it somewhere else, it doesn't work. But it works in Las Vegas.
Well, and that's part of the, like, I think Vegas has kind of lost its charm. That's why I like Fremont Street. There's a few of those older time casinos still operating. Like, on the Strip, it's like, I don't know. It's not garish enough. It's too sleek. You know, like, I want lights. Like,
garish is a good word for it.
Yeah. I want the fucking waving cowboy.
And that song, Viva Las Vegas, like, you can't listen to just driving down the road, but it fits in Vegas.
Yeah. I'm going to mention two before we get past it. I forget. I am very often, 99% of the time, I'm against the celebrity cameos on The Simpsons, but I did enjoy the fucking Moody Blues getting like a speaking role in this episode. I thought that was
they corner the guys as they're trying to escape, and it's the Moody Blues, and then Cedric Tatum with Mike Tyson playing the voice, and Siegfried and Roy, like these staples of Las Vegas, just surround and corner them. That coming right after we get a Gil appearance where
at the
Gil,
craps table,
he blows the whole company payroll. Like, how did he get access to that money in the first place? And of course, like, it's such good Gil. Like, as they're dragging the money away, he's just, jeez, Gil.
Yeah.
I love Gil. I like that we're getting a lot of Gil.
Yep. The fact that we're getting more Gil, like, is one of the few bright spots of where this show was turned in this last season or so.
The Vegas mob, like, takes them to the Nevada state border and throws them over it. And they're like, I love that they play the people of Las Vegas as being, like, offended. Like, you would run out on a marriage? What's wrong with you? We have morals here in Las Vegas. I love that that's their attitude. And then there's, like, one weird, like, gay joke on the way out where the two wives are like, We don't need you anyway. We found men who treat us right. And it's Siegfried and Roy who, like, give a knowing glance at each other, and the tiger rolls its eyes. It's like, okay. We're just going to get one of those on the way out.
And the episode ends with them walking into the distance, and they're thinking of telling what story they're going to tell their actual wives. And it's like a bit about aliens and, like, well, you're going to get probed, gang probing.
Yeah.
And then, like... And that bit wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but then Homer calls him a jackass for. It's like, this show is just way crasser than it was before. Like,
that's a good word for it. They occasionally throw one in. Like, they're not doing it all the time. They're not South Park, but by this time, South Park is, I think, on the air and pretty popular. So it feels like they're just forcing one in every so often.
And at times, it kind of feels Family Guy-ish. And a hot take alert. Fucking Family Guy is way funnier than this show is now. Like, the Family Guy episodes that are going to start debuting pretty soon are going to be funnier than the Simpsons. That's crazy to think about. That like that Family Guy for a good chunk of its time is better than the fucking Simpsons. Like,
yeah, I would say probably like fresh Family Guy that would have been airing around this time.
Yeah. Well, actually, we're about to come up to that.
I would say Futurama also. Like, early Futurama is super fucking funny.
Yep.
Like, Simpsons, I think, is, like, a little bit of showing its age. But, like, if they just stayed as wholesome as they always were, would they look super out of touch compared to the other shows? So if we don't have Homer say jackass or crack a gay joke every so often, would the Simpsons at the time be even more irrelevant than they were?
Yeah,
so
I wonder.
I don't know. I don't know one way or the other. I don't know what the answer is.
There's a lot of Simpsons questions that need answering. Thankfully, we have 2 decades of episodes left. we can break this down.
Yeah, we can see where we go from here, too. It's one of those things, like, do you not correct and just do what you always have done, or do you try to change with the times a little?
It's, at some point, we'll have our own animated sitcom, and we'll have to make that decision. Everyone has that point in their life. What do I do with my animated sitcom?
America's Barley Basket, the TV show, will be super hot for the first 8 to 10 seasons, and then we'll see what we do after that.
People start saying we're passe, even though we think the quality's still there. Then we're going to buckle, and we're going to fucking, have some fucking super crew. We'll have our own Poochie. Oh, man. It's going to be a real roller coaster. So tune in 2025.
Our relationship behind the scenes will start to crumble as one of us, develops a drug problem and the other one is just trying to keep it together. Yeah,
the media will make one of us bigger than the other, so the other one will be resentful.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a wild ride.
So tune in.
The merch sales are going to be hot, though. They're going to be real hot. Yeah,
exactly. We're going to be fucking raking it just from Spencer's gifts alone.
Baby doll tees.
Yeah. So we're up to episode 11 in this batch. Wild Barts Can't Be Broken. Gonna say I enjoyed. They had a Doctor Strangelove couch gag that I got a kick out of.
Hell yeah, they did. I wrote that down too. I love that movie.
Yeah. And we've discussed too with what's his name? Kubrick. That's some people he's the be all and end all, but man, when he's good, he's real good. And Doctor Strangelove is real good.
His movies always look good. At the very least, that they'll look good. Looping back to, that's my main thing with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, is that even if I won't give the movie more than just it's good, it looks great.
Very good point. Yep.
Terry Gilliam makes great looking movies.
You could tell he accomplished what he wanted to. That movie looks like it has a certain look, that he obviously put work into. Yeah.
That movie looks how White Rabbit sounds.
Yeah. So we have Wild Barts Can't Be Broken. It starts it's baseball season. The Isotopes are on the field. We forget fucking Homer dislikes the Isotopes because of an episode from seasons ago where he was done dirty when it came to the game of baseball. But the team ends up winning. He's in Moe's. It turns out they're winning the championship, which is weird because it just seemed like it was like the beginning of the regular season when they first went to a game. But now the season's over? Question mark.
Yeah,
but hey,
there was a real weird non-transition where they because I was taken aback and had to be like, oh, this is apparently way later in the season. Because it's it goes from, man, this team sucks, they'll never turn it around, and then they leave the ballpark and it seems like Homer just walks straight to Moe's. It seems like it's
really
moments later. It threw me for a loop too. Maybe there's a deleted scene in between there.
And Homer, shithead bandwagon person, of course, he acts like he's been with him since the beginning. They're celebrating Moe's. And then I think it's Lenny, Carl, Homer, and Barney just rip the city a new asshole with their post-World Series celebration or post-championship celebration, to the point they're driving through the school and they end up taking a shower together because that's what fellas do after a night of partying. You just
don't tell me you've never taken a big old dude shower after a good long night. End up in a
giant locker room with my bros and the suds up and bathe. Think about, growing up, when you're in high school or junior high, you were bathing with other people daily. It's just part of life. When was the last time you took a bath with a man? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I don't want to seem like I'm a prude, Marlin. It's been a long time. It's been a couple decades.
Been a minute since you were community showering.
Yeah. But it's just, you don't even think twice, which, I don't know, good. Maybe that's a good thing. That we were all mature enough. I mean, we didn't handle it well. There was a lot of horseplay.
Horseplay and a lot of awkward, downward glances. A lot of just eyes on the floor. Don't just.
It seemed like a lot of us were we all kind of, well, this is weird. Why are we naked? We weren't naked last year. Don't even remember that being part of it. Now we're naked every day together, I guess. So fuck it. Let's just be normal. I remember that being pretty quick. We were all pretty good about it. Like
a lot of trying to change t-shirts without ever taking one off completely so you don't get bullied.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think it was because I was usually in my gym class was with guys my age. I don't remember being bullying for me was always the other grades, the older kids usually. So.
Oh, not us. We were all we were like band of brothers, except also the worst to each other.
Yeah. And I guess when it was my buddies, it didn't bug me as much. I didn't feel bad about that shit. It was the shit when it was like kids that didn't know me well. It's like, yeah, you're just being an asshole. You're not my friend.
We didn't have enough kids to not know everybody well.
That's awesome, yeah. There's like 2 kids in the school you're not related to some way. Yep.
That's why everybody dates from neighboring towns.
Yeah. Because things get real weird real quick. You look too deeply into the familial connections there.
Trying to keep the cross-eyed population down.
Yeah. So even for Homer standards, his hangover the next day is pretty legendary.
Boy, he looks like hell.
Yeah. And so does the school, because they fucking destroyed it. And there's like a news conference. They can't find anyone, so they end up just blaming it on the kids. So there's now a youth curfew, which Chief Wiggum enforces with a zeal that I find very troubling.
Real iron fist.
And then, so the kids are out enjoying an idyllic, evening, and then the sun goes down, they're sent inside, and everyone's sad because it's like 6 p.m. and one of maybe the funniest gag of this group of episodes was Marge trying to lift their spirits with having a board game night.
Yeah.
And the games, that first game that just says citizenship on the fucking front. And then the game of Lent, the game of fucking Lent cracked me up too. Yeah. So yeah,
I like that during that sequence because it's only 5:30 or 6 o'clock. The sun is barely down. Homer comes running in with a funny hat and a big cotton candy, just like, I'm going to the carnival. All the rides don't have any lines because all the kids are locked inside, and then just fucking runs out the door.
And it wasn't even really to be a dick. He's just kind of dumb.
He was he was just excited that he was having fun at the carnival.
Yeah, so great. Yeah. So the kids are very angry about this, as they should be. And they realize, like, wait a second, like, we can get our comeuppance. Oh, no, I'm wrong. They sneak out. Because there's this movie coming called The Bloodening.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to see that fucking movie at the drive-in. And they do, but they're busted by Wiggum and Wiggum's goons. And we see, as they go by the cars, that Milhouse's mom is making out with Pyro. So it's good to see her and Pyro are still
going.
Still a thing, yeah.
I missed that, but I didn't miss Skinner and Edna are on a double date with Superintendent Chalmers and Skinner's mom.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Very comfortable in the back seat together.
That is a weird double date to be on, man. That is awkward.
So the kids are they've been busted for sneaking out. They got to do community service. They are in charge of cleaning the Chief Wiggum billboard. And I do like when they talk about, like, the adults do stuff. They just never get in trouble. And they start rattling off the things that their parents do. I think it's, who's the namby-pamby kid? Martin, I think, goes, my mom shoplifts all the time, even stuff she doesn't need. His concerned tone of voice cracked me up.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Martin in a while.
Martin, that's a very good point. We haven't seen a whole lot of Martin.
It was good to see him. He was kind of I think Martin was kind of the original Ralphie, and then we improved on the formula and got Ralphie.
Yeah. It's weird. Originally, it seemed like Gunter. I mean, very early on, Gunter seemed to be like the subject of their scorn, but then Martin really filled that role.
Yeah. In some ways, Wiggum, or Ralphie Wiggum, is just like a dumb Martin.
Yeah. they don't
Because
really...
I guess Martin's always portrayed as being super smart now that I think about it.
Yeah. And so what they end up doing, they end up making like a pirate radio show in British accents, which I thought was a nice touch, where they just reveal the secrets of the adults of Springfield.
Just air out dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Turns out that Milhouse's mom is cheating on Pyro with Gyro,
a
different American gladiator.
Yeah. So great. And a lot of there's just going to be a lot of Homer. Like they even tease it, like tune in for more, including more about Homer Simpson. And so the parents are up in arms now. They got to get to the bottom of this, and they somehow track down. I think the scientist guy, scientist, figures out. Like I can't think of his name.
I don't know how to spell it, but
I figured that would be just as good a way that people would know who I'm talking about. They find him. They're on the back of the billboard. They've somehow made a way to broadcast a radio station, which bravo, I guess.
Using that cup as a transmitter, like as a satellite dish.
So there's a huge fight between the kids and the adults, and that song breaks out, and boy, the song did nothing for me. It just didn't seem that funny. It's like, oh boy, okay, get it out of your system.
My note literally says, yay, another musical number.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. And it was kind of an interesting swerve. It wasn't funny, but then the elderly people get involved and they're sick of the adults.
Yep.
And because old people vote, they end up passing a curfew for everyone 70 and under. And I do like the gag of, we find this out because Kent Brockman's doing the news from home because he's not 70, so he's stuck at home. And I got a question for you. If you notice on the countertop where he's doing the newscast, he has a decanter full of booze.
Oh, I didn't notice.
The reason behind a decanter?
I think it's strictly aesthetic.
Is that it? Okay. I was like, I don't know anyone. It's like, that is good. Decanter sales have to be at an all-time low. When was the last time you saw someone under the age of 50 with a decanter? Yeah, you're right. Is it just strictly ornamental? Okay,
I think so. Like certainly there's a higher class to having a decanter of whiskey on your counter than a bottle of whiskey on your counter. And that's what I assume it is.
And there was definitely a time they were a collectible thing. I'm thinking like 70s and maybe early 80s, because a lot of liquor stores, especially mom and pop liquor stores that have been around for a while, if you look covered in dust on the top shelf, there might be an Elvis decanter with him, like with a Hawaiian background, that they have marked for $400. Listen, nobody bought it for $400 in 1982. No one's buying it now. Fucking mark them down and get them out of here. It's depressing to look at.
I have like pretty old tastes, so I find myself in like antique stores and thrift shops every so often, and I always keep an eye out for like, if there's a cool crystal decanter and rocks glass set that might come home with me. I would live a decanter life and have zero troubles with it.
Yeah, I guess. Now, if it's just ornamental, it's like, okay, I understand. I was like, is there like a whiskey snob reason for having it? But no, if it's, okay, that makes more sense then.
I had a roommate who had a crystal decanter and rocks glass set, like real crystal, like legit crystal. And I'm pretty sure that was always filled with just black velvet or Southern Comfort, like some garbage, which I always got a chuckle out of, like, I'm going to put this $10 whiskey into this $100 piece of crystal.
Crystal decanter sounds like the heroine of like a dime store mystery novel.
So it's like a budget fighting game character.
Or like, a character you have to meet. Like Crystal Decanter gives you intel. Like a Max Payne game,
Yes. The next time I try and fail at writing a piece of fiction, I'm definitely making room for Crystal Decanter.
In your attempt to be the 21st century Raymond Chandler. your hard-boiled detective now. Oh, fuck. On that note, look into some Raymond Chandler if you haven't. That shit's fucking solid gold. I
don't even know who that is.
Like any kind of like thing you've ever seen with like a detective in a smoke-filled office and a good-looking troubled woman comes in, it's Raymond Chandler. I don't know if he invented the formula, but he fucking perfected it. He's
I never read a lot of noir, like that detective noir shit.
The only reason I did is for some reason there was one of his novels, a little paperback beat up in our goddamn coffee room at Swanson's that someone brought in there. I sat down and couldn't put it down. Like, holy shit, this is something.
Episode number 12 is Sunday Cruddy Sunday. The kids are on a field trip to the post office, which Lisa points out that she would be excited for, except we did this exact same thing last year, which is some real budget school shit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's close to home. Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of options sometimes.
And there's a joke here that was like... I was wondering how timely it was at this time, if it was prophetic or if it was topical. I think it's Nelson, asks the postmaster if he has a gun or has gone on a killing spree. And the postal officer is like, no, the days of the disgruntled postal employees shooting up the place are long over. And then Skinner chimes in with, good thing I work at an elementary school.
Yeah.
Which is that's a doozy of a school shooting joke.
Yeah, we're about, what are we? We're not too far away from, we're about 3 months prior to Columbine.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
See, and I got to backtrack a little bit because I forgot this episode. If you remember, the chalkboard gag was, I will not do the dirty bird. And that was traumatizing. Then I had to look into it because this episode aired on January 31st, 1999, right after the Super Bowl between the Falcons and the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
This had to be, if not the first, one of the first Super Bowls that Fox ever got their hands on. And as a Vikings fan, it's pretty traumatic because the Vikings were 15-1 going into the NFC Championship. And those sons of bitches choked against those dirty birds, those Falcons, who got tromped by the Broncos in the Super Bowl. And I think a lot of Vikings fans have revisionist history. They make it seem like, if only we would have got past Atlanta, we would have destroyed Denver. Denver was 14-2 that year. The Vikings would have lost John Randall for the Super Bowl, who was by far their best lineman on defense. And he was the only star on defense they had. So, yeah, it would have. I mean, it would have been a game, but yeah. But still, I just want to fucking see them lose a Super Bowl. I don't ask for much. I know they're not going to win. That's just impossible.
Was that a back-to-back Elway Broncos years?
This would have been John Elway's last game. This would have been his second. And another fun fact, you know what aired after this episode on Fox? The very first episode of The Family Guy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Look at that.
Big night.
There was definitely at least one Fox Super Bowl before this, because I don't know if you remember, but it was one that the Bills were in, because The Simpsons have done a Super Bowl episode before.
Good catch.
And we talked about how you can tell that Fox had it because they can say Super Bowl because that's copyrighted and only the channel that has it can say it and all that. So we've done this before, but it was cool to see it again. Like, it's that time of year that Fox came up in the rotation. Or not that time of year, but that
time of the decade.
Time of the decade. Yep.
And getting back to your point, when I think of school shooters, workplace shootings, they are definitely a mid-90s phenomenon where there was just a string of handfuls of people bringing guns to the post office or their workplace and taking out their grievances on their coworkers. And probably an example that maybe the Brady Bill worked and maybe we don't need 40-round banana clips that we can load. Like back then, the school shooting or the workplace shootings were all like 4 deaths, 5 deaths, 8 deaths.
Oh, for sure.
Are not good. No one should die because some fucking dipshit had a bad day at work. But there weren't the 30, the 40, the fucking 50 people dying because we had a few extra gun laws back then.
Yeah. It turns out that if you limit the capabilities of the weapon at hand that, hey, they can't get as many people.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah. That's why, like, when people are like, well, if you take away guns, people are still gonna, like, someone would still use a knife. It's like, yeah, I don't dare someone. But, like, someone can't stab 50 people in 120 seconds.
Try to kill 25 first graders with a knife. Like,
I mean, don't try, for sure.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I mean, don't. I'm trying to think, maybe. No, it's like, do we maybe want one person to try to prove it can't be done? But no, I don't think we can't take that risk with the future of America.
Like I've brought up on this show before, I own guns and think that they should be way harder to get. Like there's no reason for things to be as lackadaisical as they are. But yeah, I thought that joke, I legit was like, oh, geez, Simpsons. Like it's, and then had to think of the timing of it. It's like, I bet this predates the school being the standard place to have a shooting.
Yeah, not by a whole lot, just, a few months.
That was chilling. I was like, oh, shit, Skinner. The kids on this trip to the post office, they all get a piece of undeliverable mail.
Yeah,
they get to just
pick
a piece. Yeah, they get to pick a dead letter out of the bucket. And I forget, I think it's Milhouse gets his letter to Santa that he never got delivered.
That's so great.
Bart rips open a piece and gets a coupon book and gives it to Homer for his birthday. And Homer is gassed up about these coupons. I don't think I've ever been as jazzed as Homer about coupons.
I got a kick out of that as well.
I like that Marge points out, like, oh, here's one for one free visit to the foot doctor. And Homer's just like, that's just a scam, so they get you in the door so they can charge you money to cure your foot pain. And she's like, oh, you're probably right. And goes limping away, like hobbles away. Like, oh, God, let poor Marge go to the foot doctor. Yeah. Jesus, Homer.
Yeah. What are we doing here, Homer?
I like that Homer gets so easily and so fully swindled at the tire store.
Yeah.
Like, goes in with a coupon for a free balance and, like, within just a few sharp lines of dialogue is buying all new tires.
New tires, yep. And when the other guy points out that they're laughing at them through the glass, I thought that was nice too. Like they're just mocking their stupidity. Yeah,
like the salesman, the mechanic, and the manager at the tire store all just pointing into the waiting room laughing.
Yeah.
That was I haven't done that in a while, but the waiting room in an auto repair shop is a den of sadness all to itself.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a weird place.
Yeah, just like it's out of time. Like it's outside of our universe somehow.
I went to one that had a surprisingly baller like coffee bar. Like truck stop level, like multiple options with like different kinds of like mixers and stuff. It's like, what is going on here? Like
I remember being in a Jiffy Lube like 10 years ago and thinking that they were on the cusp, on the bleeding edge of waiting room coffee just because they had a Keurig, which wasn't even fancy at the time. Yeah. Everyone had one by then. But before that, it was all just the cylindrical like vacuum pump of coffee, which I'll sit and drink all day. You guys are fleecing me on this car repair somehow. I'm going to take as much as I can in free coffee out of this dirty coffee pot, watching fucking Fox News up on the TV in the corner.
Yep, of course.
Flipping through a fishing magazine.
Yeah.
Thank God for phones. Like, I think phones killed the waiting room experience.
I was thinking I need to put my phone down more often and drink that fucking nightmare in. Because I'm like, you know what? That gets the brain churning. That gets you thinking about things. Like, where are we going as a species?
Yeah. Look around. Drink it in.
Yeah.
Force you to look at it. You got like the Malcolm McDowell eye pry open things.
Look at that man scratching his back with a rolled up coffee of Fish and Stream. Look at him. He can vote. He can affect the outcome of this country.
look at that man yell at his kids. Like, look at that fellow over there digging in his ear with his pinky and then looking at it and going right back in there again.
Or I was thinking, look at the person that's not yelling at their kids but should be, as their kids are attempting to kick a hole through the wall.
Yeah, a lot of that too.
Starting an old woman's jacket on fire. She sleeps.
Waiting rooms are a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So while he's at the tire shop waiting on his new tires, he runs into his friend Wally, who they say they met somewhere, and I don't know that we ever saw it. So I'm not sure they met in an episode.
Yeah. I can't place it either.
But Wally is a travel agent, and they're talking about how the Super Bowl is coming up, and essentially the deal is Wally has free Super Bowl tickets if Homer can fill a bus with people who want to pay to go, essentially pay for the bus ride, tickets will be free. But he has to fill the bus first. And he does. We see, like, this talk happens while they're at Moe's having a beer while they're waiting on their car to get finished. And we get, like, an NFL Films advertisement for the upcoming Super Bowl, which the NFL Films music is a classic for a reason.
Yep.
God damn it, that music is so good.
Yeah, NFL Films is so good. Such a smart idea by the NFL.
And they make a great joke here of when they're talking about who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl, they always have the character real obviously hold the beer mug in front of their mouth, and then it's clearly inserted audio, which I thought was a fun joke.
And then they do the same thing with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Like, just in case
exactly.
there isn't a presidential change. Well, I guess at this point he could have been impeached because this would have been around that time, you know?
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I did like that was a fun joke.
Yeah.
To like, this is going to be topical, but we got to cover this up somehow. So Homer gets the bus fills it with all manner of town folks, including comic book guy, who doesn't strike me as a football fan.
I found that interesting.
But whatever, I guess. We just need named characters, just recognizable characters. I love that they're just absolute animals all the way down there. They drink too much and trash the bus. I love that one of the pranks that they pull is someone takes Reverend Lovejoy's white collar out of his shirt and all of his clothes fall off. I like that somehow
like the linchpin.
Yeah, that's the keystone of the whole thing. When they get off the bus, there's a great moment where Wally's talking to the bus driver, and he's like, "I'm sorry, it looks like they really did some damage to your bathroom." And the bus driver goes, "What bathroom?"
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was very evocative of what they've done in this bus. We get down there and we get some fun cameos. Troy Aikman has a caricature booth. Yeah, but he can only draw dune buggies clearly, which I thought was fun. Dan Marino is doing like a catch-up pass from Dan Marino booth. A couple of fun little cameos from those two. Lisa and Marge, in the meantime, are doing a Vincent Price branded egg decorating kit.
I was wrong when I said, I can't remember what part I said was the funniest thing of this group of episodes. By far, the funniest thing is when they call the fucking customer service number on a box of Vincent Price egg decorations from 1967, and that recording, and when they say, "The feet will be rushed to you by my grandson, Jody Price," I fucking died laughing. Christ, that's a great fucking like with the level of commitment, and they already knew that the issue would be the missing feet.
Yep, we already know the problem. Yep.
Jody Price. Fuck, I'm laughing right now thinking about it. And how theatrical it is, too, because, of course, that's fucking Vincent Price.
Yeah. And I like that it's not really clear if it's a message or if he's there talking. Like, they're kind of unclear on that for a while. I think at the end, Lisa even goes, so is he dead or not? Like,
and Marge doesn't even answer. Just leaves Lisa hanging.
Yeah. So they're working on that and getting their feet for their Vincent Price egg decorating kit. We get to the gates going into the Super Bowl, and it turns out Wally's tickets are fake because they're printed on crackers. God damn it! I laughed at that. Like, this is fake. No, it does. See, it doesn't have the little hologram. Plus, it's printed on a cracker and takes a bite out of it.
Don't eat our tickets.
God, that was funny. So I was about to say sneak in, but they don't. They just bum rush in and get tossed into Super Bowl jail pretty quickly. Yeah. The security guy. They do a fun bit where they see like all the halftime costumes for the marching band hanging there, and then like, so you think, oh, they're gonna sneak in that way, but really they just push the cart to knock over the security guards and bum rush into the place. Yeah. But of course get busted, and they have Homer, they're holding Homer in the cell bent over and taking turns just field goal kicking him in the ass. Yeah. Which, it's not even Homer's fault. It's Wally who had the fake tickets. Yeah. Homer catches a lot of shrapnel in this one for not being the guy who's actually to blame.
Yeah, Homer's been a shithead enough in his life. Every once in a while, Homer needs some blowbacks.
We cut to Lisa and Marge sitting around waiting for their egg feet, watching the Super Bowl, and that ad for the church fucking ruined me. I was laughing so goddamn hard at that because it's just like this big budget overblown fucking Super Bowl ad, but it's for the church, and it's just sexy women servicing this dude's car, and then way at the end it zooms in on one of them wearing a cross, and it's just like, the church, we've made some changes.
And
so
like
the
good. Church, just as simple as that, not any kind of denomination, just the church.
Dolly Parton is in this episode. She's down near the jail cell. She is part of the Super Bowl halftime show, and turns out she knows Wally. Dolly busts them out of Super Bowl jail and then puts on a Snoopy head and takes off on a jetpack, which was a very fun visual gag.
That was a good gag too,
I forget who it is. It might be Homer who says, like, that's going to be an amazing halftime show. Now they're trying to figure out how to get to where they can see the game. And we get about 4 seconds of a song that I really love that it doesn't get enough love. And that is Song 2 from Blur. We get literally like 4 or 6 seconds of that before we go back to the episode.
It seems like we're getting a lot of like mainstream music in the last season or so. I don't know. Maybe
I agree. I forget where I noticed that, but it was during this batch where like something's playing on the radio, and I'm like, oh, they sprung for that song, even though they're only going to use 10 seconds of it. They were throwing around money on licensed music during this time, apparently. And what's crazy, you don't think about it unless you actively try to think about it. But like, deals had to be rewritten once streaming became a thing. So like those songs could have been not in these episodes if Fox or Disney had decided not to pay for the licensing for them. Or if the record company or the artist decided not to. But like, new contracts had to be signed for all of these songs.
Yeah, I never really thought of that, but that's a good point, yeah.
That's like, you run into that a lot with like TV shows on DVD, like WKRP in Cincinnati. When that came out on DVD, when it aired, was filled with licensed music. DVD, no licensed music.
Or Married to Children, when it was streaming on Netflix, couldn't have the Frank Sinatra Love and Marriage intro. It had to just have some generic background music.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a big one. Holy shit.
Yeah, and it stuck out like a fucking sore thumb.
I'll bet. You see a lot of it with professional wrestling, like those deals get made for live broadcast, and then maybe they don't get made for DVD or streaming down the road. Like the WWE won't pay for Mr. Sandman, so all that ECW that's on the WWE network does not have the Sandman coming out to enter Sandman.
Oh, interesting.
And like that was a big thing because part of Sandman's intro was he came through the crowd and the whole crowd sings Enter Sandman. Yeah. And his entrance takes forever, like most of the song. And so you watch it now and it's just like some generic, fucking elevator heavy metal that they put in there while the crowd very clearly sings Enter Sandman. It's very funny to watch.
Yeah, now I need to pay attention to that, yeah.
Yeah, go find some Sandman matches. The matches aren't good, but it's amusing to see the intros now.
Yeah.
But I really love Song 2 by Blur, so I got to enjoy 6 seconds of that during this. They find their way up to an empty skybox and immediately just start eating the food and drinking the beer. Bart is even pressed up against the window going, "Hey, someone scored," and nobody cares. They're just eating all of this food. And turns out that they are pilfering the skybox of Rupert Murdoch, who plays himself in this episode.
Yeah. Absolute piece of shit, Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, known garbage human, Rupert Murdoch. By some manner of hijinks, when they're running away from Murdoch's goons, they get kind of caught up with the winning team in the tunnel, and they end up in the winning team's locker room, which has some fun in it with, like, Bill Clinton calls to congratulate them, but it's Homer, so it's not... he doesn't know what's going on. And then him and Lovejoy start towel whipping each other. And Barney, of course, shaking champagne and drinking it. And then we get like a weird post-game breakdown after they get back on the bus and leave. And we get a post-game breakdown from Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat Summerall, not a name I have thought of in a very long time.
Yeah. Very good at his job.
Or John Madden. Like, Madden also hasn't been on the air in forever.
Yeah. Summerall's been dead for a while, but John Madden's still with us. Just keeps a pretty low profile. Getting pretty old, I'd say, at this point, but had a hell of a run.
What do you think he does with his days? Provided he's not, like, bedridden or something.
Yeah, let's hope not. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe he's got some kind of blog he updates or some kind of thing he does. I hope he's still keeping in touch with the rest of the football-loving folks.
Out there writing some memoirs. That's what I hope for.
Yeah. Oof. I hope he's got a ghostwriter.
But yeah, they just do like a post-game breakdown of that episode of The Simpsons, which I thought was pretty clever, especially because they like point out like, boy, John, wouldn't you think it's strange that a football episode had almost no football in it? And Madden says something along the lines of, yeah, a real slap in the face, a real insult to longtime fans of this storied but long-failing franchise.
Yeah, I miss the Simpsons really poking fun at themselves. So they did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I got some good chuckles out of that. And then they get on a bus and head off, and that's the end of the episode. I liked that one quite a bit. That was probably my favorite of the bunch, the Simpsons Super Bowl episode.
Yeah, I would say, boy, and that's not saying a whole lot. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. The best laugh of the bunch was in that one. There's some good laughs. Yeah, the Vincent Price shit was killing me. That was harkening me back to Golden Era, just because how goofy it was, yeah.
And so specific, that joke.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Vincent Price is driving the bus that they get on at the end.
And Jody is in the back of the bus at some because he asked Jody to do something for him, which I thought, again, love it. And on the flip side of that, Marlin, we have reached a point. I'm going to need some emotional support on our next episode, Homer to the Max. this may be the most blah episode. I'm really starting this. I think it's fair to be honest with our listeners. We're 43 episodes in. They deserve honesty. Holy shit. I was like, what? God damn it, Simpsons. It was just no laughs. But it's just, but fuck it.
The premise and logic of this episode in particular, I was like, what are we doing?
We'll get to it. I mean, this is going to make for good podcasting. I'm going to need to really hulk up here and get the energy, let the vitriol flow, but Homer to the max.
I'm just going to sit back and let you do a 120-second recap of this episode.
Homer finds out he is named after a very cool kind of not Don Nelson, the coach of the Golden State Warriors, Don Johnson, star of Miami Vice. I mean, they're pretty ham-handedly. It's a Miami Vice clone, and he's very cool, and his name is Homer Simpson. He has a catchphrase. Can you think of what that is? They really push that on the show, and Homer
nope, I didn't bother.
Because, you kind of have a name that technically could show up. Like with the last name like Wells, that's not super ethnic-y, so there could be a character with that name.
Well, I have a pretty uncommon name,
Yeah, you're an interesting case where the first name is more unique than the last name.
Yeah, but my last name is Wells, and I live in Fargo, which makes me real hard to Google.
Yeah. Very good point. Never thought of that. Yeah. See, that's a Wells Fargo reference for those that aren't into the banking.
I find that most jokes are better if you explain them afterwards. Yeah.
I just want to lay it down. Some people like to dig in and study it and research it and then lean back and let out a real sensible chuckle. Oh,
yeah.
God, those guys.
All of the best punchlines are followed with some graph paper and a long talk.
And a couple quick YouTube videos. Okay, what are we looking at here? Let's see. They have the podcast on pause doing the research. Oh, Marlin, that was wonderful. Let's continue.
All right, back to what Nathan thought of this episode.
Yeah, and so Homer is loving it. He's getting newfound respect for having this cool character's name, and of course, because he's an idiot, he really leans in hard. Like he thinks he's pretty cool, since Homer Simpson on the TV is pretty cool. But it all blows up in his head.
So does everyone else. Everyone else thinks he's cool because the character that shares his name on television is also cool. And that's where like the logic breaks down for me. Where it's like, what is this episode even about?
Yep. Like everyone at the bar thinks he's like all of his old buddies. It's like, it's just, it's everyone's and all of a sudden everyone's Homer dumb and it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like,
right. It's, there's just structurally, this episode did not work for me.
Yeah. And, it all fucking blows up in Homer's face when for some reason they decide to do a complete 180 on the character, and now he's like a fat, bumbling oaf. Like, he's like the comic relief. So like now the kind of the sidekick of the show is it a police cop, which I did think that was all right.
Police Cops is a fantastic name for a fake network TV show.
So now the sidekick is the star, and the main character is this now different actor, just a bumbling oaf, like who may even be developmentally challenged, possibly. Like,
I love that his catchphrase is "Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs."
Yep. Whenever he fucks something up, which happens every episode. Yeah. So now Homer's like a pariah in the town. Like they treat him like a complete fucking asshole.
Yep. Which is, again, like that's where the logic doesn't work for me. Like, what is going on in this town?
Yeah. And like early on, like Burns now knows his name. Oh, no, that comes up later. I'm wrong. Pardon me. But now they're like, he's at work and everyone's just hiding in the back waiting for him to do something dumb, which he's Homer, so he's gonna. But they're just somehow noticing that after working alongside him for 25 years that he's a fucking screw up. and he's very upset about this. He goes to the creators of the show and to the suits at the network to see why they did it and if they could change it. Of course, they're not. That's not going to be. And there's just, I thought maybe there's a chance to get some laughs there. Not really. I mean, kind of poking fun at TV, which, like.
Yeah, there's a couple, like, we were going to make this show, but it didn't test well, so we did this other thing, and I don't even remember what the joke is, but they explain where Police Cops, the name, came from, and it's like, I don't know.
Yep. And one thing that I kind of skipped by at the beginning, the episode starts with them like getting ready to enjoy the debut of the mid-season TV schedule, which is funny. It just shows how in the last 20 years, how much of the grip on pop culture network TV has lost.
Yeah.
Anyone even think twice about the mid-season TV show debuts?
Nope. Not, definitely not me anyway.
And I mean, when they made this joke, it was a joke that like how irrelevant it is, but like people don't even know what that reference is anymore. If you were to do that on a modern show, like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like,
I did get a good laugh there right off the top where one of the new shows is Admiral Baby, which is just a baby wearing a hat who's in charge of the Navy.
Yep.
I did think that was funny, mostly due to Marge's reaction.
Yep.
Where she's just like, I don't think it's possible for someone so young to raise to the rank of Admiral.
Yeah, and
it's so good.
And it hits the nail on that because who enjoys network programming? Moms. People like my mom. Like they don't need to watch the fucking Shield and be challenged morally. They just want to be able to watch a baby pretend to be a sea captain and his bumbling team of lovable misfits that somehow keeps that ship going forward.
The Wire isn't for everyone, which is why we have Blue Bloods, which is for everyone.
Blue Bloods, the episode, everything wraps up in a neat 44-minute bow. There's a fucking sack of human feet hanging from the door of the goddamn city hall. 44 minutes will solve the most insane. Criminal masterminds will be felled in 44 minutes.
Yeah.
But Homer decides, well, I can't get them to change the character. Well, I'm going to change my goddamn name. I'm sick of this. He has a few all dumb Homer-type ideas for names, but he goes with Max Power because he thinks that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a pretty cool name. I got to give it to there. You meet Max Power. He's, again, you sound like an American Gladiator. There's worse things to sound like.
I guarantee there's been more than one professional wrestler named Max Power.
Oh, my God, yeah. Max Power fought in a mid-card in Continental Wrestling in 1986. I will bet my fucking car on that. Yeah, Max Power was in a tag team match in Mid-South Wrestling at some point in his career.
Yeah, such a good, like, fake name.
Yep. So all of a sudden, it's like a switch flips, and Max Power, again, Homer is now the goddamn toast of Springfield. And who does he meet that has a cool name? I'm trying to think.
Motherfucking Trent Steele.
Trent Steele. There you go. And Trent Steele really appreciates the cut of Homer's jib, but he just thinks it's a cool name. And for some reason now in this bizarro world, that's all anyone cares about. And Homer's now kind of part of the upper crust of Springfield.
Yep, he's in with the hip crowd of Springfield. Mm-hmm. I like that they go to that garden party, and Marge is so impressed with how fancy this place is, and the indicator she's using is that the number of the house is written out in words instead of numbers.
I thought that was nice, and I think the only joke that I enjoyed enough to write down is when there's first the celebrities are fucking Bill Clinton is there. And Marge is dancing with Bill later on. And, of course, Bill Clinton is a pig. At this point, we didn't know how much of a monster he was. It was just kind of playful fun, Bill Clinton still. It was the 90s. And when he goes, hell, I've done it with pigs. Real life pigs. I did get a kick out of that.
My favorite bit from that garden party is that they snub Lorne Michaels. He comes over and, oh, hey, Mr. Powers. And Homer's just like, so what do you think of the economy, Marge? And Lorne just puts his head down and walks away.
Yeah, all sad. And Homer is just loving it until he finds out they're there for some kind of like philanthropic reason. And Homer, because he's a piece of shit, is just outraged that this is what being in the upper crust involves.
He's just like booing.
Yeah, he's just a complete asshole. Like, he makes it very clear right off the bat he does not enjoy this idea, does not want to be part of it, but he's seduced by the upper crust living, so he decides to go along with him and chain himself to the famous redwoods of Springfield.
Springfield has whatever you need it to.
Yep, it sure does.
I also we take some real fucking shots at Ed Begley Jr. throughout all this, who, kudos, played himself. Mm-hmm. So
I think he has a very good sense of humor about it.
But, what a fucking super specific reference, Ed Begley Jr.
I think he's in an earlier episode from quite a while ago where they poke fun at him for being kind of granola.
Huh, I'll be damned. But when he's like, oh, I'm not getting on the bus. I have a car that runs on my own sense of self-importance or something like that. Like, Jesus, good for Ed having a sense of humor.
Yeah, damn right. I think he's kind of known for that he's pretty cool about poking fun at his kind of fucking super lefty ways.
Yeah.
Which, good for him. And I support most of the shit he's been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on board with Ed Begley Jr. in most things.
So now they're all chained to redwoods. Homer's been peer pressured. He does not want to be there, and they're all their solidarity is there until I think it's Eddie and Lou are the cops. They show up with. Is it a chainsaw they have? Is that what they're getting? And Homer panics because he is...
No, they have mace, but it's like liquid mace that they have on the end of a cotton swab that they're going to just poke in his eyes.
Oh, that's what it is. Yep, you're right. And Homer, again, is a coward, so he starts running from them, but he's chained. So they're just running in a circle around this tree, which somehow is enough to cut through a redwood, and then... the redwood tips and it knocks all the redwoods down. And the fucking people that were there to save the redwoods are pissed.
You can't get too into the physics of a cartoon.
The end.
It's a very Looney Tunes physics.
God, what a fucking limp dick ending. I was just like, okay, now I'm Homer again, I guess. Okay, look at me. God, I was mad at this episode. It's like, fuck you, Simpsons. Whatever you were too good to fall this fucking hard.
I got a good laugh of after he knocks the tree over, he kind of like balls up the chain, wads all the chain up and goes, hey, I'm free, and throws it up in the air in celebration and just smokes a bald eagle.
Yeah,
just
that
takes
was a good visual.
Yeah. That was a fun little joke. But front to back, this is probably my least favorite episode in a while.
Yep.
Because I've been coming in a little hotter than you as far as enthusiasm for these for a while now. But even I on this one was like, ugh, okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay, this is, and I was like, I remember I've heard of the premise of this episode. I knew through Simpsons lore that he was once Max Power. So I was hoping maybe this is a memorable episode. Nope.
Nope. Yeah, nothing special. Kind of a dud.
I remember fantasizing about the Vincent Price gag from the early, like it was in a loveless marriage. I was trying to remember back when we still had some
the good
spark.
times.
Yeah,
back when you were dating.
Yeah. We had the Vincent Price. We had Jody Price. Remember Jody Price? Oh, I'll go wait. That was what I held on to when I was struggling through the Max Power episode.
You're just daydreaming about Troy Aikman doodling those dune buggies.
Who would have thought that that's what I would look back at?
I bet Troy Aikman can't draw a dune buggy for shit.
A buddy of mine lives in Aspen. He's worked in the hospitality industry there for years, and he says Troy Aikman kind of lives there, doesn't just hang out on the weekends. And he says Troy Aikman hangs out at the Townie bar. He says all the other celebrities go to. He's like, nope, Troy Aikman comes and drinks a couple Miller Lights and watches the game if there's a game of interest and sits by himself. Doesn't awesome. He says some celebrities will kind of slum it because they want the attention. He's like, Troy Aikman, nope. He says he will happily, if you want to take a picture, he's like, don't interrupt the guy when he's eating or something or on a phone call, but if he seems like he's willing to be addressed, he'll take a picture, he'll sign something. But it's like, you know what, Troy Aikman seems like a pretty solid dude. It's like, good, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. You could easily have gone the other way, being the one of the nation's biggest sports stars at that time.
Yep.
In the age of cocaine, you could have really gone a bad way.
A lot of his teammates did on those Cowboys teams.
Michael Irvin, big on the cocaine.
And on a separate Aspen-related celebrity note, he says Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell have lived there for so long. He says after you've lived there for a few years, you see him so often you don't even really think twice.
It doesn't even register.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Kurt's gonna stop and get some milk. You're just casually waiting in line behind Kurt Russell to buy lottery tickets.
I'm sure you get used to it, but I would have trouble keeping my cool if I were behind Kurt Russell in line. I have so many questions about that hat from The Thing. Why would you wear that? Do you still have it? Is there a reason it's so big? Who decided that should be your hat in the movie? That's most of my Kurt Russell related questions just revolve around his hat from The Thing.
You would struggle to find a hat less suited for Antarctica.
That hat is uncalled for.
Imagine wearing that hat when it's windy in normal temperatures. Not a hat. Make it fucking 80 below zero and windy. You would throw that fucking hat so far away. You'd be so fucking mad at it. You'd be mad at yourself for bringing it.
Yeah, that hat is 80% of a sombrero. You're that close. It's so ridiculous to be wearing in Antarctica.
Yeah,
and then I'd probably have some questions about Backdraft or Wyatt Earp or something, but it would mostly be about that hat from The Thing.
Oh yeah, or fucking Death Proof. You really like nachos? Fucking man, a good plate of nachos is pretty awesome, right?
I never saw Death Proof. I should.
Yeah,
what was the other one? It was that double Grindhouse feature, Planet Terror.
Yeah, Planet Terror. I actually enjoy Planet Terror more, but I think they both have their merits.
I always heard whichever one isn't the Tarantino one is the one I usually hear people like more.
Yeah, that's Planet Terror.
Okay. Yeah, I never got around to that.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth checking out. They're fun and it's short. It's especially if you watch the original cut, it's super short. Because they aired them back to back in the theater. It was supposed to be an experience, like a fucking 3.5 hour fucking.
It was meant to be seeing a double feature at a grindhouse. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. With the movie trailers in between.
That's where Machete came from, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep.
It was a trailer, and then Rodriguez went ahead and made it.
And I think there was a Thanksgiving horror, 80s style horror movie called Thanksgiving, possibly something like that.
That whole thing seemed like good for them. Make a fun thing.
I was sad that it didn't make a ton of money. It's I want shit like that to succeed.
After Kill Bill 2 really fell off of Tarantino's work. I don't think I've seen a Tarantino movie after Kill Bill 2. And I didn't love the Kill Bill movies, but
I enjoyed them. They didn't really hook me. I need to rewatch Django and I need to rewatch Inglourious Bastards. Both times I watched them in shitty, at a party or something like that, where there's tons of noise and I'm being distracted. I remember when I watched Inglourious Bastards, it's one of those movies where it just seems like the good guys were just never going to get challenged. So it's what are the stakes? They're just going to kick ass for 90 minutes?
The Superman problem.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's okay. Good. Yeah. Kill all the Nazis, who wouldn't applaud that? But it's like, well, it's just boring. I don't want to watch 90 minutes of that, you know? Like, I just never felt like anything was in danger. Like,
I'm sure
but
it's
again,
way more than 90
it,
minutes knowing Quentin.
Yeah, 150 minutes, yeah.
I never got around to which ones am I missing if I stopped at Kill Bill 2? It's like
the Western,
Django,
the Hateful Eight.
The one that you just mentioned.
Yep. Oh, and one thing you are missing that you need to see. This is his best movie since his 90s output, if you ask me, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I fucking loved it.
Is it good?
Yep. And I went into it with a Tarantino, like, kind of like the same way you're putting it. Like, oh man, he hasn't drawn me in a long time. And that movie did it. I was so fucking happy I saw it in the theater. Like, God damn it, that was good.
Huh. All right. I'll have to.
It's kind of a movie too that reminds you, like, fuck, man, I like Brad Pitt. God damn it, Leonardo DiCaprio's good at this shit. Like, they both fucking knock it out of the park.
I always like Pitt in his like off the wall, out of the ordinary roles, like fucking True Romance, where he's the guy on the couch, or Snatch, where he's the boxer. The fucking barely understand him. Yeah. Yep.
One thing I think Brad Pitt does well is, for being impossibly good looking, he always can be fairly likable.
Yeah. Most attractive people are super fucking smug.
Yeah. Even if they're not, you just think it by looking at them. We just have it in our DNA. We hate the perfect people.
Well, I don't know how we got there, but that's another episode of America's Barley Basket in the bag.
We did it.
I genuinely don't know how we got into the Tarantino talk, but that's fine.
I'm glad we went down there. I'm glad that I could proselytize, if I'm saying that word right, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for you, because it is, man. I was so happy to see it. Like I felt good. Like, fuck yeah, man. I'm glad you made this decision. I remember I went by myself. And this
high-fiving yourself on the way out. Yeah.
And this random-ass theater in like South Minneapolis. It was very cool and old-timey. And it was a real good experience. I miss those experiences. Get your fucking shots, assholes. I want to go to the movies again.
I'm waiting on my phone call, man. I'm not part of the problem, I promise. I'm on the list. I'm on the list with the county government, waiting for them to go, hey, come get the pointy juice. Get
that? Was it Fauci ouchie, which I totally stole from something, but
for
it's
sure.
So obnoxious. I love it.
We're all still waiting. I too want to go to the movies. Let's supposed to go
to the movies.
I'm supposed to see Nathaniel Rateliff in Denver in August, so we better get to it.
Get it clean, take your shots, wear your mask, clean all your dirty parts, scrub them twice. Disinfect your mouth holes, your hands. Clean up the party holes too while you're at it. Take care. There's more than just COVID out there you need to worry about.
Keep an eye out for our new T-shirt that reads "Clean up your party holes."
Because we've been staying inside too long. You probably let it lapse. Nope, got to stay on top of that. Keep yourself clean. Stay frosty.
I love these motivational halftime pep talks you give at the end of the episodes.
Yes, like the end of an episode of G.I. Joe, right? Because hey, that's one to grow on.
Listen, kids, don't play near down power lines. Thanks, Roadblock.
He turns around and wash your asshole. No inspirational music, just fade to black.
Wash your asshole and watch episodes 14 through 18 for next week's show. 14 through 18 of season 10. Follow us all over the social medias at Barley Basket USA. Email us, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. I'm checking the scores. You'll be happy to know the Yankees won. So they didn't fucking shit up the place again like yesterday. Your Twins play the Brewers very soon.
Ooh, I think I might try to fire that up on the old AM radio.
Attaboy. Oh, hell yeah. That's
I
good.
enjoy.
That's
I find it
good baseballing.
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, everyone, enjoy yourselves. 14 to 18 for next week.
See you, everybody.